Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. Yesterday we have learned how to move the ball in the mouse direction and create this beautiful effect. And today we will learn what will happen if the ball collide with these blocks. So without wasting any time, let's dive into Unity and create this game. First I will create an empty game object and I will name it block. I will reset the transform and I will add the sprite render component to it. I will move it up and scale in X and Y. After this we want the block to collide with the ball. For that we need to have a collider on this block. I will add box collider to it and we also need to add the tag. I will create a new block tag and I will assign that tag to it. Now let's create a script for this block. I will drag and drop this script on this game object. Now open the player script. Inside the player script, we have to create a functionality that if the ball is collide with these blocks, ball will change its direction. If you know how to do this, you can pause the video and this is the best time to test your skills. There are two ways you can think the solution. One is you can use the default Unity rigid body, but if you use that, we don't have a control of the direction where the ball will move after hitting the block. So we have to think a different way. Inside the onCollisionEnter method, I will create a direction variable which is a vector2 type. If collision.collider.tag is block, I have written square but this is a block. I will correct it afterwards. And if we have collided with the game object which have a block tag to it, I will use vector2.reflect. What this method do, this will reflect a vector of the vector defined by its normal. Means if the ball is collided with the plane, it will give the direction normal to both these vectors. For the initial direction, I will provide the rigid body velocity, and for the normal, I will create a variable. I will name it normal. This is a vector2 type, and inside the if statement, I will get the normal where ball have collided using collision.contact 0.normal. This will give the normal vector, and inside the vector2.reflect, I will provide this normal. And we have to normalize it. This normalize will create this into a unit vector. Now we have to move the ball in this direction. So I will write rigid body.velocity equal to direction into move speed. Now this should work. I will change the tag to block and I will create a new block. I will drag and drop the square sprite. I will add the box collider to it and I will scale it, and I will also add block tag to it. Now let's run the game. Now this script is working as it is supposed to. The ball is reflecting in normal of these vectors. This is great. Now let's arrange it so that it will become little harder. I will rename it to block and I will assign the block script to it. We have to create a block manager script which will take care of how many block has destroyed. Because if the player is not able to hit the ball with all the blocks, we need to restart the level. So I will create a new script. I will name it block manager. I will create an empty game object. I will rename it block manager. I will reset the transform and I will drag and drop the block manager script. I will select these two blocks and I will move it inside the block manager. Now make sure that both of these blocks have the block script to it. Now open the block manager script in editor. We have to create a list. This will store all the block which is at the child of this transform. I will name it block object. We don't need the update. I will create a set block object method and I will create a total block count. This is the total number of blocks which is present when the game starts. And I will also create a current block count. This is the block which is destroyed by the player. Now inside the set block object, I have a block parameter. I will call this method from the block script and I will add this block to the block object. Now the block object contains this block. After this I will increment the total block count. We have to create a remove block as well. Inside the remove block, I will simply increment the current block count. I will rename this to block destroyed. Now inside the block script, we have to take the reference of the block manager. In the start, I will write get component in parent because this script is at the parent of this object. Now when this block is initialized, I will call block manager dot set object and I will provide this block as a parameter. Now inside the on collision enter method, we want to destroy this block. We want to call the block destroyed method of the block manager. I know that this block will not collide with anything else other than the ball, but it is a good practice to check. So I will check if the object that is collided with this object have the player scrap to it, and if it is not, it will give a null. So I will simply return from this. Now let's switch over to Unity and test this game. In the starting, when the game start, we have 2 blocks, so the total block count is 2, and right now we haven't hit any block, so the current block count is 0. So when I start and able to hit both of these blocks, the current block count will increase. We also need to destroy the game object when the ball hit these blocks. I will not destroy it, I will set it to false so that I can easily set it to true if the ball is not able to hit both of these blocks. Now inside the block manager, we have to check continuously that if we have hit both of the block or if there is some block left. So inside the update, I will write get mouse down. If the mouse is pressed and the total block count is not equal to the current block count, that means the player is not able to hit both of these blocks. So I will start a for loop and I will set these game object to true. Now let's switch over to Unity. If I am able to hit only one block and I will click again, the block will appear. But if I am able to hit both of the block and then I click, the block will not appear. This is good. Now we have to load the next level if both of the block is hit by the ball. So inside the update, I will check if the total block count is equal to the current block count. Right now it is not equal to, I will change it later. I am good at making silly mistakes, but I will correct that later. Now I want to load the scene after a few seconds so that you can play some animation in between. For that I will start a coroutine. Coroutine is simply a method which you can use to delay running some line of code. Now I will delay 0.5 seconds and after that I will load the next level. I will call this coroutine in the update. To call the coroutine, we simply have to write start coroutine, and if you haven't used coroutine, think about this. This is simply a method. The syntax is a little different, but its main purpose is to delay certain frames. Now let's switch over to Unity and test this. Now when both of the block is hit, this load next level is called so many times because as soon as the current block count is not equal to the total block count, in the update start the coroutine again and again and again. But we have to create a functionality that once the total block count is equal to the current block count, then I will call this load next level, and this load next level should call only once. The simplest way to do this is using a bool variable. For this I will create a new method. I will name it load next level now, and if load next level is true, we will simply return. In the starting, the load next level is false, and when the total block count is equal to the current block count, I will start the coroutine and I will change the load next level to true, and because of this the coroutine will run only once. I will call this method if the current block count equal to the total block count. Now let's switch over to Unity and test this game. Now the load next level is called only once. Right now I am testing. When I click, the disappeared block is appearing. So I have to change the current block count to 0. Inside the update, when I click, we have to reset the current block count, and we will reset it only if the current block count is not equal to the total block count, because we don't want the block to appear if both of the block is hit by the ball. Now I will change it from not equal to equal. Because the total block count should be equal to the current block count, then only we will load the next level, and the total block count should not be equal to 0, because when you start the game the total block count is 0 and the current block count is also 0. So it will call the load next level method. Now this look like a game. In the next video, we will learn how to load the next level when the total block count and the current block count is same. If you have learned something new today, don't forget to share this video to one of your friends. And if you have any suggestion or any difficulty, you can comment down below. I will try to answer it as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.